Hey guys, the Explorer 4 here, Horrorboy465. Welcome back to some more reviews, and today, doing a little bit of a random review. Not really reviewing a film this time, reviewing actually a video game. And there's a few things that I wanted to review before I get to like the Final Destination franchise, Creepshow, Saw, Jeepers Creepers, stuff like that. I'm going to actually review a couple things before I get to those franchises because before my computer's charger broken, I was already, planning out some reviews. And when I came back, I've announced, obviously, that I'm going to be reviewing a couple more franchises. But we're going to get this thing going again. It's going to be a little bit of a slow start. But, once we get the channels going, or the videos going, my bad. Once we get the videos going, and I have a good plan set of how I'm going to get these videos out and what I'm going to review, I'll definitely get on that. But, for right now, I did want to start off the couple of videos that I'm coming back to make. I wanted to do reviews on a couple of games. This game and one other game. I want to review some movies from this like 50 movie pack that I got as a gift. And it has like old school horror films like Nosferatu, Phantom of the Opera, stuff like that, which I'm definitely interested in checking out. So I'll be watching a couple of those films and doing reviews on those, and then we'll get started on like Jeepers Creepers, Creepshow, Final Destination, Saw, stuff like that. So it'll be a little bit of a slow start, but once we get back into it again, the reviews will start coming up a little bit more, and we'll definitely get back into doing the franchise reviews that I announced. But I did want to review a few things before I get to those reviews, and one of the things I wanted to review is this game, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Now, this is a game that came out a little bit earlier this year. I'd actually played the demo on my channel. If you guys will check it out, just look up Resident Evil 7 demo. I did a full gameplay of the demo when back when I first came out, and I was very impressed with it. And I was waiting for the price to go on this game because I don't really get too many games like right when they come out. I was wanting to get World War II, but I was unable to get it at the time. But a couple of games that I know for sure that I am getting in the future, right when they come out, are games like Kingdom Come Deliverance and Red Dead Redemption 2. Because literally those games right now have got me so hyped. I do want to get UFC 3, no lie, when it comes out in February, I think. But I don't know. Because I think Kingdom Come Deliverance comes out in February as well, so I might have to get Kingdom Come instead. And then in spring of 2018, Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out, and I absolutely love the first game. I absolutely was just freaking obsessed with the first game. So now there's a second game coming out in spring of 2018. I'm definitely picking it up on day one, and I'm probably going to binge that game so much. I'll be playing it, day in, day out. And it's going to be a freaking awesome time because I freaking missed Red Dead Redemption so bad. And now that we're getting a sequel, it's just so cool. And I'll also binge, Kingdom Come Deliverance when that comes out as well. But those are the only two games that I'm really thinking about right now. Like, I absolutely, positively want to get when they come out. Like, as soon as they come out, like, the day of the release. I may even pre-order them, I don't know. But, yeah, those are a couple of games that I'm for sure getting when they come out. But this game I had heard about, and it being a little bit more different than other Resident Evil games. First of all, it's about an 8-hour... For me, it said that I completed the game in about 8 hours. Most people, they said it was 9 to 10 hours, so I was like, hey, I'd be a little bit early. That was pretty awesome. But it took me about 8 hours to beat it. Very short compared to other Resident Evil games. Usually Resident Evil, it takes a while to beat the games. I've beaten Resident Evil 2, I've beaten Resident Evil 5, I think. I've beaten Resident Evil 6, which, I guess if you just count just playing as one character, the campaign for that one character isn't really too long. But, I did technically beat Resident Evil 7. I only beat one story mode. I get there's, like, other storylines in, the game, but, I played Leon story mode, I beat it. So I guess, technically speaking, I beat Resident Evil 6. But I do know that you can play as Chris. You can play as Jake, and you can play as like I don't know. I think it was those people and a couple other people in Resident Evil 6. I don't know. Resident Evil 6 is all right, but nothing compared to this game. This game is freaking awesome. And usually it takes a while to beat Resident Evil games. Like, I'm still playing 4, I'm still playing Code Veronica X. I played Resident Evil 3, didn't beat it. So, there are some games in the franchise that I have not beat yet. But Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, I remember them announcing this game. And I was thinking, was it going to be like, another sequel or whatever? And then I watched the trailer. And it looked so different than other games. I'm like, where's the zombies at? Where's, even if the crazy people from like 4 and 5, where are they at? And it's totally different. And it's like a, first person point of view game. And it's very cool to, have a brand new perspective in a Resident Evil game. So yeah, I love the fact that it's, through the character Ethan's eyes, first person view of, what's going on. And I like how this game took a massive risk. And yeah, I mean, and all, did it succeed in all the changes? I don't think it was that perfect of a game. There definitely is some problems with it, and one of the problems is that the story. Well, the game itself is just very kind of short compared to other Resident Evil games. I mean, 8 hours for me to complete it. That's a very short game. But, is it a great sequel that, is definitely up there with like Resident Evil 2, 3, 1, 4? I would say yes. I think this is miles better than 5. I think it's miles better than 6. I think honestly I put this above Code Veronica X. Even though I like Code Veronica X, I put this a little bit more above it because by that time in Code Veronica X, the formula that they were using was starting to get a little bit old. But, I just like how in this game, they completely went different with this game. And the game itself, I mean, if I get on IMDb, it gets us 8.9 on IMDb. Which, usually games get that kind of range for good games. Now, if a game gets like a 6.0, that's kind of like a 4.0 movie-wise, at least on IMDb. But, man, the game is just so different than other Resident Evil games. It brought a brand new, style of gaming to this, particular sequel. And it is a sequel because I won't spoil. I mean, I will spoil it, but I will say right here, spoiler alert from here on. But there are characters, or a character at least, that pops up at the end of the game that, at least for me, confirms that it is a sequel. And, I was definitely very hyped for it for the longest time. Seeing the trailers, looked cool, graphics were great. Played the demo, and the demo really got me, hook, line, and sinker really behind this game. And it was because of the new dark atmosphere, the idea of it being a first-person game, the fact that the atmosphere is back, the foreboding atmosphere is back, the creepy gameplay is back, just the eeriness of Resident Evil is still felt in this game. And when I found out this game, I was, very excited to play it because I had actually wanted to play it for the longest time, and then it finally got a little bit too reasonable price, and I bought it, and like I said, it took me about 8 hours to complete it. And guys, this game is honestly pretty good. If you've never played Resident Evil 7, well, I've already said spoiler alert, but if you haven't played it, I recommend it, but this is a spoiler review. But yeah, Resident Evil 7, I mean, it's just down to the details and the sound effects, the animations, the atmosphere, the creativity, the total different, 180, total 180 of what a Resident Evil game usually is. And I think it done it in the right way. Did it do it every single way the right way? That sounded confusing. But did it do everything, perfectly? I would say that there are a few problems with the game. I mean, obviously, it's not a perfect game, but, honestly, it is one of the better ones in the franchise. And the story, I really like the story. It's basic, but I think it really works for this game, where, you play as the main character, Ethan, and his girlfriend is missing. And he gets an email from her, I think, about 3 or 4 years later. And she pretty much tells him, hey, I'm at this farm, and, she gives him the address. he goes there. You know, he encounters this family, this sort of hillbilly family, and he gets tortured a little bit. You know, it's the point where, you know, he gets his freaking hand cut off by a chainsaw, and it's freaking insane. It's really intense intro to the game. And he goes into this house, and there's this crazy family in there, and the rest of the game is trying to figure out what's going on. You know, you found there's this little girl who the family had taken in, and she had this, you know, basically this like mold, maybe fungus. I think it's like a mold, where it was basically a bacteria that infected them and made them who they were, and the whole place has pretty much been taken over by this little girl's powers, or this disease that she has. And that's pretty much the basic part of the game. I mean, from there on, it's just about surviving. You know, and I really like how in this game, you know, you're not given all this heavy armor and, you know, this heavy, like these all these guns, and you're not unstoppable. In this game, you barely feel like you can fight back in this game. You know, you'll be walking around with maybe 2 bullets for the pistol, 1 bullet for a shotgun, and a pocket knife. That's all you got, and you're facing these creatures. You're going to boss battles, and you have to figure out, how am I going to survive this, and how am I going to actually fight back. And it's just so intense when you get into the boss battles. The atmosphere is creepy as heck. And, you know, the music I thought was very good. Really enjoyed the score. And it's just, even though it's so different from a Resident Evil game, it ends up, you know, also being very similar in a way. You know, the empty hallways, all of a sudden there's an enemy there. The music, the puzzles, even though the puzzles are very easy in this game, there's still puzzles in it. Finding keys, you know, backtracking. In the earlier days, not having a lot of ammo, not having a lot of weapons, going back to basics. I mean, it is different, but also it is having those elements from the other Resident Evil games in it. And I really like that. I really like that about this game. And the game is just fun to play. I mean, it's creepy fun. It's definitely got a scary vibe to it. And the game really surprised me. I recommend it. And spoiler, the end of the game, you find that Chris Redfield, if you get the good ending, that is, if you rescue Mia, then you have the ending where you see Chris Redfield. And I'll be honest, the Chris Redfield looks awful. Doesn't look like Chris Redfield at all. But, you know, the ending was definitely very good. You know, you're fighting this giant creature, and it's all done very well. You know, you're getting to this gun, you're all bloody. You get the gun, you point at the monster, you do that last shot, and it kills it. And then you and Mia get out of there on a helicopter and pretty much escape. Now, are there problems with it? You know, yeah, it's not a perfect game. There are times where, you know, the puzzles are just so easy. It's like you play these other Resident Evil games, they're so hard, they're annoyingly hard to solve. Here, it's like, that is so easy. There's that. Also, there's a point in the game, and I've heard this a lot, there's a point in the game where you go onto a ship, and it basically is giving backstory to how this little girl had this bacteria, and she's able to control it, and it starts infecting people and turns them into these monsters, these mold monsters. And, you know, it is a backstory, I get that, but it's kind of like it stops the story that was already progressing. It kind of stops it just dead in its tracks. And it's definitely like a obvious middle piece to the story. And when we get on the ship, you know, there's not really a lot of weapons. It has a bunch of the same creatures in it, these mold monsters, which don't really get creepy when you see them, you know, every time in the boat somewhere. You get off the boat, you go down in these mines, and, you know, you find that the girl's down there, you try to get through the mines, you go back to the house, and that's where you find the girl at. That's basically the final boss battle. And I thought that the story was strong, the graphics were strong and stuff like that, but, you know, there definitely are some problems with it. But overall, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, I played it, very impressed with it, definitely recommend it. And yeah, that was pretty much my review for Resident Evil 7. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. If you guys liked the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever. See you guys later. The Explorer 4 out. Bye, guys.